Welcome back guys to another video on this channel. Yes, it's been another long time. I'm sorry I have to take these random breaks in between, but my examinations were going on and they just recently finished. So I'm back to uploading videos as regularly as I can, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the content that comes from now on. So with that out of the way, let's jump into today's book review. So in this book review, I wanted to talk about Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, which is part of the Grisha verse duology, which includes The Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which continue from the previous trilogy, which is a continuation of the Shadow and Bone series, also by Leigh Bardugo. So before we jump into the book review, I have one thing to clear out. Recently there's been a war going on in my comment section. Half of you guys are saying that I shouldn't be telling the ending and secret reveals, plots, twists and turns in the story books. Yet the other half of you guys are saying that they were waiting for me to tell the ending or the plot twist, yet that never comes in my videos. So let me just make it clear what my channel is about. I read a book, really enjoy it, feel like I want to share it with all of you guys out there, sit down, think of how I can explain the stories, the characters, and everything that happens while giving you the thrill of the book and not revealing any plot twists or spoilers within the video. I try to make it as easy to understand as possible and prepare a concise book review so that you can understand it and watch and get a basic idea of the book before you read it for yourself. It takes a long time to come up with these videos and edit them, so it's really appreciated if you hit the like button and subscribe down on this video. With that out of the way, let's jump into the book review. So here is the Six of Crows book. As you can see, it's written by Leigh Bardugo. And the most common question that I get about this book is whether it is necessary to read the previous Shadow and Bone trilogy before reading this book. And this is one of the things that I really love about this book. It is completely independent. The duology, this book, and its second part are completely independent. There are a few references from the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but it is definitely not necessary for you to read that trilogy before jumping into this duology. Which you can take my word for it, because I haven't read the Shadow and Bone trilogy yet. But I have certainly finished this duology. So this book is immensely entertaining and interesting. It is based in some kind of Game of Thrones world, which has nothing to do with the current times. There's no technology. It's all about actual fighting like it used to be in the olden times. If you've seen the Game of Thrones, you will probably be picturing what I'm talking about and what type of people there are in this book. If you haven't, I strongly recommend you go and check out some Game of Thrones episodes before, because I don't know how to explain it otherwise. So let's very quickly go to the back of the book, read the summary. And by the way, the tagline for this book is 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. So the back of the book, criminal prodigy Kaz Brekker has been offered a chance at a deadly heist. Break into the Ice Court, a military stronghold that has never been breached, and retrieve a hostage whose knowledge could change Grisha magic forever. We'll get to what Grishas are in a minute. To succeed would mean riches beyond Kaz's wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Together, they might just be unstoppable. I mean, if they don't kill each other first. Now, let's jump right into the characters. Alright, so let's go right into it. The first character, as mentioned at the back of the book, is Kaz Brekker himself. Kaz Brekker is the main hero of these entire stories, the 2 books which I have read, and Kaz Brekker is basically a criminal prodigy. But unlike Artemis Fowl, who is also a criminal prodigy, if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, go read a little bit about Artemis Fowl. So Artemis Fowl is also a criminal prodigy, but he is totally bad at actual fighting, martial arts, and beating his way using violence out of situations, whereas Kaz Brekker is not. He is the most renowned thief in all the lands. Everyone knows him as a dangerous, merciless and cruel thief. Not just any thief, huge impossible heists. Now, Kaz Brekker is not dumb. He's the smartest person who has ever come to the land, and everyone who ever messes with him knows it. I know why they still mess with him anyway. So he's renowned for his mercilessness and his massive intellect. The second character is Inej. She is an acrobat who is now a spy, also nicknamed the Wraith, and she can be spotted by no one. No one can ever hear her coming. She could be standing right behind you. You're never gonna know that she's behind you. She can scale mountains and buildings without the help of ropes or any sort of climbing mechanism. She is an incredible asset for Kaz's team. So let's move on to the third character. The third character is Jesper. Jesper is a sharpshooter, as in a sniper, who has immense knowledge about guns, is very brave, and one of Kaz's closest thing that can come to a friend. Kaz Brekker doesn't have any friends, trust me. Now, the next character is Nina. She is a Grisha. Now we can pause here and talk about what Grisha are. Grisha are human beings who can manipulate things around them, basically who can do magic, but not fairy dust kind of magic. Ruthless magic, like standing far away and choking someone to death by squeezing close their windpipe, or dropping someone's pulse from far away so they fall unconscious without you having to do anything. That kind of magic. So Nina is a Grisha who is the only Grisha on this entire group. The fifth character is Matthias. Matthias is a Driscoll. Now, here I'm gonna throw massive amounts of terms at you. Please just catch them. I'll explain them in just 2 minutes. Now, all of the other characters are from Kerch, but Matthias is from Fjerda and he is a Driscoll. So I'm quickly gonna go ahead and explain it. Fjerda and Kerch are two different kingdoms across the map of this world. And a Driscoll is a soldier who has been trained to hunt down Grisha. That's why Matthias does not like Nina, and Nina doesn't have a really cool affection for Matthias as well, because he's built to hunt down her. They have a whole backstory to them, which I will get to in a minute. Because these characters are extremely hard to describe, it'll take some time. Now, we have 5 different characters that have been introduced. Kaz, Nina, Jesper, Inej, and Matthias. The 6th one will be explained in 1 minute. Before that, I'm going to be explaining what the actual aim of this book is. There's a councilman, his name is Jan van Eyck. He has hired Kaz Brekker and his team to break into the Ice Court. The Ice Court is a military fortress, a prison which has never been breached before, an unbreakable prison. You can't break into it, you can't break out of it. Jan van Eyck wants a certain scientist who has been held inside the Ice Court. He wants him to be brought out because that guy's knowledge of science and chemistry makes a substance called Jurda Param, which enhances a Grisha's power tenfold. But Jurda Param is like a drug. Once you've had it, you're addicted to it. And the more you eat it, the more it deteriorates your body. So Kaz Brekker has to break into the Ice Court. Now, if Kaz manages to break into the Ice Court, he gets a sum of 30 million Krug. Kruge, which is the currency of their land. And this is riches beyond Kaz's wildest dreams. But he can't do it alone. He needs to have the team with him. So here we introduce the 6th character. As I mentioned, Kaz, Nina, Jesper, Inej, and Matthias are the 5 who are regarded as outcasts, who are from a place called the Barrel, where all the thieves and outcasts live. The 6th character is not an outcast. The 6th character is Councilman Van Eyck's son, Willem Van Eyck. The reason Kaz has brought him along on this trip is to make sure that Jan Van Eyck pays the 30 million crew. Kaz plans to threaten Jan Van Eyck by threatening his son. Like, I'm gonna kill your son if you don't give me the money. just to make sure that he gets the money, because 30 million krug is a massive price. And he's not sure whether Jan van Eyck will be ready to pay it. And Kaz Brekker knows that since he's an outcast, no one is going to believe him when he says that Jan van Eyck had promised him 30 million krug. There's no possible way he can make some kind of case, because no one's going to believe him since he is a thief, a cruel and wild one. So he brought villain Van Eyck, and that guy is also one of the bravest person on this crew. Next, they move towards the ice core. Now the series of events that happens in between is something that I'm not going to tell you. First of all, there's a little bit of a warning. There's a lot of blood, gore, fighting and screaming, horrible parts in this book. Like I had given you a warning for the Maze Runner series, similarly, this book also has a ton of violence. It is definitely recommended that you be 14 years and above to read this book. If you want to read it before that, it's on you. It's your own risk. I didn't tell you anything. But for now, since you guys keep requesting, here are a few spoilers for this book. Spoiler time! Now, the spoilers of this book are pretty straightforward. Jan van Eyck doesn't pay up the money. He doesn't pay up the money because he doesn't have the money, obviously. Kaz knew that 30 million krug is a massive price, but Councilman Van Eyck told him that he has asked the council, the entire councillors group of the country, to pay him the 30 million krug. But turns out he never wanted the 30 million krug because the council has no idea about what's happening. And no one's gonna believe Kaz Brekker. So Kaz Brekker has brought the scientist's son. The scientist he was supposed to be freeing had died, and his son was continuing the experiments. He has brought back the scientist's son, and when they are exchanging the son for the money, Van Eyck tries to kill everyone in the boat. That's when Kaz pulls out his master plan and says that villain is on that boat. If you kill him, you'll kill your own son. But Jan van Eyck is so cruel, he doesn't think villain is capable of anything. He's ready to murder his own son. With that, he gives the command for the ship to be blown open. But Kaz Brekker is 2 steps ahead. Now, the scientist who was rescued was Kuwei. And villain used Nina's Grisha magic to look exactly like Kuwei. Because villain wanted to know once and for all what his father thought of him. And when his father said he's a useless, good-for-nothing child, that person standing as Kuwei, the scientist, was not actually Kuwei, it was villain. The ship behind Kaz was empty because Kaz knew Jan van Eyck is going to try and double-cross him. This is where the first book ends, with Inej being kidnapped by Jan van Eyck. Then after this, we move into the next book. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found it extremely informative. If you did, or if you're just here for a laugh or to just listen to a book review, thank you so much for watching. While you're here, if I could just ask for a tiny bit of your time, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Leave a like on this video, and I'm gonna see you guys next time.